All right, guys, welcome back to the Shiels Golf Show podcast, episode 272. Um, how are you, Guy?
Uh, Rick, I am fantastic, but most of the point, how are you? Where the hell are you?
I'm not good, mate. I am not good. Man down. Um, it's very close to not doing this podcast today. I am at home because um, I'm not very well.
Oh,
I know. I've had a shocking weekend. I'll be honest with you, Guy. It's felt, recently I've been not drinking.
hmm.
I'm getting closer to the 3 month mark of not drinking.
Nice.
This weekend, I still didn't drink. I've not drank. That's still the case. I've not drank for a long time now. This weekend has felt like the worst hangover I've ever had in my life, mixed with jet lag, which doesn't make sense because I was only in Scotland last week, mixed with a cold slash flu like symptoms. So I've just been absolutely floored. And even just as I'm starting speaking now, I'm starting to sweat. Like I'm starting, it's not a nice look. Let's be honest with you. So I was planning on coming in the office today to film, obviously, the podcast as normal, but I just couldn't. I didn't want to spread my germs with everyone in the office, so I'm here remote. Thankfully, we picked up a nice microphone a couple of weeks ago, so hopefully it's all crispy and people still enjoy the fantastic episode we have lined up for everybody.
Well, you're right. I think my audio, I'm on AirPods. I've not quite got the microphone that you've got. We've got loads of microphones here. Obviously, it's a studio, and not one we can get to work, which I'm blaming on Matt. It's not my fault. I've got AirPods in, but even if the audio is a 6 out of 10, surely a 6 out of 10 audio podcast is better than no podcast. It's got to be. So we're
Correct,
here, we're
correct.
committed, we're smashing it. We have had, well, not we have, well, yes, we have had, in terms of you and Rick Shiels Media, had a super busy week. The world of golf this weekend has been crazy. Rick, the platform is yours. Spill all the beans of your last week.
Well, that was the only benefit of being really, really, really ill this weekend. I've watched a lot of golf. I've
Yes.
actually watched a lot of sport in general. Like I've proper been the man with illness, just literally lounging around the sofa with the TV and the remote control. My wonderful wife beckoning on every beckoning, being my beck and call on anything that I needed. So I did watch lots and lots of golf. But yeah, to be honest with you, it
Just,
all
just a quick
started
one, just a quick
last.
one thing, Rick. Just a quick one. I want to just get a real picture for me and for the listeners and viewers. What is it, Rick Shields on the couch? What's your go-to? Are you a Lucozade guy? Is it just warm water with a lemon in? Really painting the picture of it, Rick Shields. I want to hear more
Well,
about it.
first off, I thought I was dehydrated, which sounds like a daft thing to say. So I've never drank so much water in all my life.
Right.
And then I'll be honest with you, I pop a lot of pills when I'm ill. Like I probably borderline take too many. So paracetamol, ibuprofen, Lemsips, Bovril, anything
Overall.
anything that's I think is going to help me, I absolutely overdose on. So that's my kind of. I eat a lot. I'll be honest with you. I'm not someone who doesn't eat.
Keep your
I'm a
strength up.
keen eater, and
Yeah.
I really listen. I really play on the sympathy card. I'm very much like I can't do it. I'm
Uh,
really really poorly. Um, but yeah, no, my wonderful family have been great this weekend. Because to be honest, they've not seen me a great deal recently. Because last week, as you rightly said, alluded to, last weekend I was actually down in London. Got the train down to London to shoot this, quite frankly, incredible video that Seb on Golf, my friend and yours, Seb Carmichael Brown, put on with a mixture of golf creators from all different
mhm.
walks of life. And basically started on the rooftop of the Savoy Hotel in London. I don't want to give too much away, but it involved some players, participants, getting onto a private jet and flying up to Scotland, while some others had to slum it on the train all the way up to Scotland. Then we had a week of content being filmed in St Andrews at the Fairmont, St Andrews, which is a great little spot. I was there a few weeks ago with the family. And then we continued our trip. We extended our filming trip because I did a little bit more filming with Peter Finch. So we've got some
Mhm.
matches coming up, a match on his channel and a match on our channel, which will be coming up soon. And then we stayed an extra day and filmed with the world's strongest man. That is not clickbait. We actually filmed a golf video with technically the strongest man on the entire planet. Three-time Strongest man winner,
The only
Tom
thing that
Stock.
I think's weird about this is you've just beat me to the punchline. I was about to say, you film me all the time, Rick. I don't know why it's such a big deal this time, but no, it wasn't Guy Charnock. It was Tom Stoltman. 6'8", 200 kilos. I would say he's the biggest man I've ever met, although Tall Paul pips him at 7'7". But in terms of physique, and obviously, like you said, the strength, one absolute unit of a bloke. Currently consuming 10,000 calories a day. He made you like a
But just
dwarf.
like he did, but just again, similar to Tall Paul when we filmed with Paul a few years ago, like a big friendly giant.
Mm.
Like I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, granted, but what a lovely, lovely fella. And he was just he was just dead nice. Plays golf to a level.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to spoil it too much on the video on the podcast here. But it was really really cool. I really enjoyed filming with him. We filmed at Dunbarney Links, which is a golf course that's only been open 4 years, which is crazy to think. And how good is Dunbarney for somewhere that's been only open for 4 years?
Yeah.
So yeah, we got we got about 4 or 5 absolute banger videos in a week, plus participated in the Sebon Golf Invitational. It was just really, really good fun. Great spending time with Pete. We had a couple of very good matches.
I was going to say you glossed over that very quickly. You said, "Oh, I played with Pete a couple of times." That might
well,
lead
we
people to think didn't go so well.
well we filmed the first video, which is going on
Mm-hmm.
his channel. I don't actually know the order they're going to go out in. We filmed the match on his channel first, which we filmed at St Andrews Fairmont, and I did listen to his podcast last week. And he was very, very brash going into that. He said it would be over after 12 holes. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. But I'll just say that didn't age that well. That comment didn't age well.
Wow.
So he actually beat me on 13.
Yeah, so well done, Rick.
No, that'll be really good. I think people will really love that video. And then we did a kind of a rematch on my channel, but again, I don't know the order the videos are going to go out in. Where we played at Dunbarney Links the morning before, the day before we filmed with Tom Stoltman. I was getting my days mixed up then. So that was really, really cool. Also filmed some content with the four brothers who were on last week's podcast. And they're absolutely hilarious. Their sketches, I think people will really enjoy their sketches. They're absolutely hilarious what those guys do. And then what else? It was just good spending time with YouTubers, creators. Again, Tubes was there. His golf, Tubes' golf has improved vastly.
Really?
In fact, that's not even enough credit. It's improved enormously.
You know what? That is good to see because there's been people like Tubes, and obviously back in the day we did quite a bit with John Robbins, who you can see they've got a love for the game. And you can tell when you see them, they're nowhere near at the potential of where they're going to get to, where they're going to, and they sometimes, I remember, I think it was John Robbins was saying, I'll be happy when I can break 90, or whatever it was at the time. It's like, you won't be. Trust me, you're going to far exceed that. And then he does. It's like, no, I want to now break 80. I think Tubes was the same. He was obviously a lover of the game. I think he loves probably the camaraderie around the game as much, if not more, than the actual game itself. But I think you could tell early on when we first filmed with him a number of years ago that he did have a little bit of potential. And it's great to see that he's obviously playing more and filming more, that he's actually getting better. What would you say then? I know you might have not seen a full round of golf. What would you say he's kind of scoring now on 18 holes? Mid-80s or better than that?
I've watched his channel recently because he's been doing kind of a beat his record score series. And I'm pretty sure his best score so far has been 83.
Right.
I don't think it'll be long. I think off a normal members tees, not playing anywhere stupidly long, he's now got the game to shoot a score that's in the 70s.
Wow.
I think as he gets a bit further back tee, if he went off like the back tees, obviously that gets a bit trickier. But his consistency level has honestly gone through the roof. It really has. He was so consistent. So yeah, that was really fun to see. And then, like I say, the event, the Sebon Golf Invitational, is going to be his own video going released on Seb's channel. Me, the four bros, created a video for our channel. We also did a video for their channel. That's a really funny one. They kind of did a twist on this. Obviously I have the Tour Pro video. I start 10 on the par.
Mm-hmm.
Those three tried to take me on, and they started 5 under par.
How did that feel for you being on the opposite side? There's a nice little flex.
Much better. Yeah, it is better, Because I do think when you start under par, you like throw shots away just willy nilly,
Yeah.
like just whatever, just throw them away. So it was nice to actually kind of be chasing rather than be chased. So yeah, that was really really good. I think, like I say, people will absolutely love the videos.
Then what you alluded to though, I think, which does, I don't think it gets overlooked, but it also kind of does, is that obviously Scotland is known as the home of golf. Literally, St Andrews, the home of golf, and there's so many well-known golf courses. But also, even Dunbarney is a golf course that clearly you know of. I know, we've been there before. But when I came and met you and Tom Stoltman at the golf course, and obviously walked around and saw the scenery, the clubhouse, the facilities, the food, everything. You literally, if you'd not been to many golf courses, or even if you had, if you'd been to a number of golf courses and you were a relatively established golfer, and someone plonked you on that property and said, "This Dunbarney is the best golf course on the planet," I think you'd stand there and go, "Yeah, I believe you. It's unbelievable." And actually, though, to a lot of people, I'd say even some hardcore golfers have probably never even heard of Dunbarney. And then down the road, you've got London Links, etc. It just baffles me every time we go to Scotland how many amazing golf courses there literally are. Some obviously are expensive, some are much cheaper. How can there be so many great golf courses in one country?
I know it is wild, isn't it? And like I say, even the Fairmont that we stayed at, like the golf courses are so good. Like they honestly are. It's that property. Whenever you've got kind of when you're overlooking the ocean, I think that for me really does, highlight a golf course so much. Like so many of my top golf courses, albeit whether it's Turnberry, obviously you got the pleasure of playing there a few weeks ago, and like that vista, that view is just outstanding. There's Royal County Down, which is my heart, which obviously is Irish Open on this week. We'll talk about in a minute. Like the views there are just, I mean, to be honest, Royal County Down didn't look as good on TV as it did in real life. Like on TV, watching this weekend, I was like, "Oh, that's not the Royal County Down that I know." Like it looks better than that. So it's a shame that the TV sometimes doesn't do these courses justice. I think when it's really green grass, something like an Augusta, that really pops on TV and it almost really shows like how beautiful it is. I think links courses on TV don't always look phenomenal, do they? Like, sometimes they can kind of get a bit washed out, really, because it's not perfectly pristine green grass everywhere. But yeah, I'll tell you what, honestly, this weekend I watched so much golf, and I'm going to kick things off with the Solheim Cup.
Mhm.
It's one thing I didn't know, and you might be able to answer this. It was on last year. How come it was on again this year?
This is something I was asking. I've not actually researched it, but you're right. It was on last year when the Ryder Cup was on. Was it just before the Ryder Cup? And we were saying,
Yeah.
weren't we, last year, how they should do that every time or even be at the same venue. I can only think it must be something to do with the one that was delayed due to COVID, or I'm not fully sure, but you're right. It seems strange how it's been on 2 years in a row.
But
We'll
I,
have to look
I
into that.
honestly, Sunday afternoon, the singles matches, I absolutely loved them. I honestly did. I thought the atmosphere was fantastic. I sat there on the sofa with my two daughters watching, and they were really, really getting behind it. I really feel like the last few weeks, them going to the Ladies Open, them going to watching the Solheim Cup, it's really kind of sparked an interest in their golfing kind of journey.
Maybe a silly question. Do they buy into it more when it is female golfing because they can resonate with it more, or do they not even see it like that?
Honestly, I didn't. I underestimated how much the fashion and the personalities weigh into this.
I remember you
Like
saying that,
honestly,
yeah.
certainly with my girls, like they love it when like the USA team yesterday had these like really cool socks on where one sock was stripes and one socks was stars for the stars and stripes, and they were like, "Oh my, I want them socks. I want like," and it was so much about the fashion and the personalities, and they loved how on the first tee the USA team wanted the crowd to cheer on every
Yeah.
first tee shot of the USA team. The crowd cheered where the Europeans didn't. They loved the cheering. They were like, oh, and again, when I was looking at it through their eyes, it all makes sense. Like, you want it to be exciting, you want it to be energetic, you want it to be loud, you want it to have cool characters. Like, they loved Nelly Corder, they loved Charlie Hull, to be honest. They thought she had so much like swag. I'll come on to something in the media that I'm not blown away with at the moment, which I'm a bit disappointed about.
Just a quick one. I've done a little bit of research. The reason why it's been last year and this year is because it was always designed to be alternating years with the men's Ryder Cup. And
Right.
with last year, because of COVID, etc., there was both. They've had another one this year, and then obviously we know we've got the men's Ryder Cup next year, and it kind of falls back into place naturally then.
Yeah, I mean, I would love them to take place the same week at the same venue, but obviously there has to be a lot of discussions between the Ryder Cup and actually Solheim Cup. But yeah, the atmosphere, the characters, the golf that was on display. I mean, honestly, it was so good to watch, and it got really tight. Like for a long time, it looked like USA were going to just absolutely walk it. They only needed to get, I think it was 4 points to win or 4.5 points to win, where the Europeans had to have 8 points to retain the title. And it actually came down to the last few matches, which nobody expected. Obviously, Charlie Hull ended up kind of absolutely dominating Nelly Corda, which was a surprise to most people. 6-4, she beat her.
Crazy.
Georgia Hall ended up winning, dominating lead. Lexi Thompson ended up losing on the last hole. Oh God, I can't remember who she played now. From the European team, but it was action packed. It was just brilliant. It was kind of like a mini Ryder Cup, obviously, and you're passionate. Like I wanted Team Europe to win, and it was so easy to watch with my family, just having a good time. And the putts that were being held was fantastic. The pressure situations were outrageous. The atmosphere, the fashion, the personalities. It was just a real festival of golf.
You're right. And one thing that always surprises me about the Ryder Cup, I noticed it even more so as well this year with the Solheim Cup. And when I say surprised, they should probably add pleasantly surprised, is that how many non-golfers buy into the Ryder Cup or very casual sports fans as well. It becomes big news. And yesterday I was at an event, which I'll come on to in a moment. I'll tell you what I was up to. But I was driving back and my brother was checking the Solheim Cup scores for me. And literally on Sky Sports, bearing in mind you had the North London Derby yesterday, had Arsenal versus Spurs, etc. It was literally on the Sky Sports app, the top thing for quite a couple of scrolls, like Solheim Cup. And you think, not only is that great for golf, because it's not very often that golf is the top above football and those other things, but then it was also women's golf as well. So it
Yeah.
really does show you that there definitely is this appetite for people, this team game, this elite team game between obviously Europe and the USA. So, like you said, if there's more young girls getting involved as well, it's fantastic.
Celine Boutier, the French
Okay.
lady, was the one that beat Lexi Thompson on the last hole. But it was brilliant. I was kind of flicking between that. I was flicking between the Irish Open because that was on at the same time. Um, but just finish off with the Solheim Cup quickly. Obviously, the USA ended up winning the end. I think it's crazy the home advantage that
Mm.
when it's Ryder Cup or Solheim Cup does, because even the announcement, like my wife and my kids thought it was a bit unfair. Like they do the European announcement, like on the tee from Europe, Charlie Hull. It was
Mhm.
like, and it was like, on the first tee, representing the United States of America. And it was like, put your hands together for the world number one. And it's like Nelly Carter. And it was like the difference between even just the announcement was so biased towards America. But I think that's what really makes the Ryder Cup and the Solheim Cup what it is. Like it is that little bit of bias, like it is that home advantage that
Yeah.
players will have. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I hope the Solheim Cup, certainly from last year and this year, now gets that kind of recognition that eyeballs that it deserves. And it's actually not been going for that many years. I'm sure it started in 1990, so it's only been going like 30 odd years. So, where
Mhm.
the Ryder Cup obviously started in 1927. So it's got kind of history wise, it's got a lot to catch up on. But I think eyeballs wise, it should get as many eyeballs as the Ryder Cup. I mean, in fairness, it should be on the same week. I really would love to push for that.
Yeah, I
Um,
can see both sides. I think you're right. I think if it was on the same week, it might genuinely get even more attention because it might be on the same golf course. People have got that real excitement, I suppose. Maybe it not being on its own, maybe it being on its own like it was this year now. The fact that it does still get to the top of Sky Sports, I suppose. I don't know. I can see both sides, but great that it was so popular, and it's great to hear that your kids as well got that little bit more of a bug for golf. Are they watching the channel yet, though, Rick? Are they watching Rick Shiels Golf on YouTube in the evenings?
Listen, so the other day, I had my laptop out. I think this was Friday or Thursday last week, and I went on YouTube on my channel, and they were saying, "Do you do shorts?" How do you know shorts? I don't know. Do you do shorts? I said, "Yeah." They said, "Do you do any funny ones?" I said, "Well, I'll let you decide." So I started flicking through the shorts, and a lot of them they were like, "Yeah, whatever." And there was a few that they really loved. The one though, you won't believe the chant that's been going around our house this weekend, right? And they do it in our voices because it was edited like this. It was like, we are bad at golf. We are bad at golf. Rick is bad. Guy is bad. We are bad at golf. That has been going on repeat all bloody weekend. So I'm even getting trolled in my own house now.
That is class.
They absolutely love that video of us walking off the 10th green at the Belfry after bloody chopping it up. And I'm trying to think what other ones they really enjoyed. There was a few.
Did they see the guy get hit by the buggy, or did they see that one?
They like that one. Oh, what was the other ones they enjoyed now? There was some really good ones, actually, to be honest. I was quite proud of the ones that we'd posted. So yeah, that was good fun. My gripe, I've got two gripes.
Okay.
With some things that happened in the media with the Solheim Cup. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I've got a gripe with the BBC.
Okay. Wow.
So last night or yesterday, the Solheim Cup was on Sky Sports. So behind a paywall that not everyone in the world gets, and therefore, but I'm getting a lot of emails here. Let me just shut the emails off.
Popular guy.
So yeah, it was on Sky Sports behind a paywall. Not everyone gets access to the highlights. So I was washing up last night, doing a bit of jobs around the house, whatever, and it was about 10 o'clock, and it said the Solheim Cup final day highlights coming next. And I was like, oh, brilliant! Like, this is gonna be great. After this, after the Best Man film, right? After a film, this was 10 o'clock. The film was released in 1999 called The Best Man. Actually, quite a funny film, to be honest with you. But then the highlights of the Solheim Cup were started at 11:55 p.m.
Wow. That's not good. Isn't it? It's very late.
Like, why that film has been out 25 years? I'm pretty confident that film has been shown on BBC Two probably 10 times over the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the Solheim Cup highlights? Because even 10 o'clock is a bit late. Mm-hmm. Why did the Solheim Cup highlights not go out at 10 p.m. and then put the film on afterwards? It makes no sense to me. I was really disappointed with that. So that was my first bit of gripe, bit of news. My other one, and I am frustrated about this, okay? This thing with Charlie Hull and smoking. We get it. Charlie Hull smokes. It's fine, right? Each to their own. Not an issue at all. But Golf Digest yesterday, and I'll find the picture to show you if you've not seen it, put on a picture of Charlie Hull, who's just defeated, who's just beat Nelly Corda. So Charlie Hull has just beat Nelly Corda 6-4. Oh, it's blurred out.
Oh, got it. Oh, she's with a cigarette, yeah.
And that's the picture.
What's the actual caption? I can't read the full cap. I can see she's got people listening. Charlie Hull in her uniform with a cigarette.
Job done. Charlie Hull smokes world number one, Nelly Corda 6-4.
The only thing I can understand that it's very unusual to see, obviously, in this day and age, a sports star smoking. Never mind a sports star smoking, an elite athlete who's smoking actually during play. It's something you don't see. You don't exactly see Ronaldo spark up a cigarette. So it's one thing that I understand it causes interest and intrigue, and some people kind of like it. Some people think it's bad. It's a bad kind of look for a role model. Whatever your thoughts on her smoking habit, I don't get why the golf magazines and the media are then almost, because it's not even like they're saying it's bad. They like kind of make it look really cool, and it feels a bit dated, doesn't it?
That is a really cool picture. Like, that is like, if that was from 1980s in kind of black and white, 1970s, that'd look like a cool picture. But it's 2024. You've got Charlie Hull again. Not a problem with the smoking. What she does is in her own time. I don't mind. I just don't think it should be glorified. And again, going back to that point, like my daughters yesterday, they're not on Instagram yet. They're only young, but they had Charlie Hull as this bloody superhero yesterday. Yeah. I was explaining to her that, you know, Nelly Corda is world number one. She just beat the best player on the planet. How cool is that? Now, for 15-year-old kids girls especially, who were on Instagram yesterday, and they opened this up, and it was like, oh, there's Charlie Hull, that really cool golfer. My dad's just told me he's beat Nelly Corda. Oh, she smokes. Well, that's quite cool. I don't know. I just don't like it. I think it's the wrong. I just think it's the wrong time to. I mean, the comments aren't great either. Like the comments are pretty bad on that post, but I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed in the golf media. I think we should be celebrating the fact she won 6-4 and she beat the best golfer in the world rather than kind of bringing it back to a smoking.
On a brighter note, I have got some amazing news for you. Really, it's for our listeners and our viewers. That today's podcast is sponsored by your friends and mine, Marriott Bonvoy, and we have got an absolutely incredible prize. Please elaborate.
Whoop, whoop. Well, first off, Marriott Bonvoy. I mean, we recently had an amazing Marriott Bonvoy Moments golf event at Worsley Park. In fact, with some of the members, and actually, we had Marriott Bonvoy members coming up all the way over from the United States, from the UK, from Spain, from all different places to have an action-packed couple of days with a bit of a clinic with from me on the driving range, lots of golf being played, bit of a Q&A dinner afterwards. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed spending time with the guys. And I think the feedback from them as well was absolutely fantastic. So we've got some more exciting news again for our UK followers. You can enter a sweepstake to visit our podcast studio, actual podcast studio, not my house, the podcast studio, and spend some time with me and the team. Go behind the scenes of the podcast and meet the team behind all of our videos. Play golf with me in the Hit Golf studio, and we can take a trip to the local golf store and buy you a brand new driver of your choice.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me just digest this. Wait a sec. So if I won, obviously not me, but let's say I'm the winner. I'm John Smith, right? I'm from Canterbury, and I win this event. Not only do I get to come to the studio in real life, maybe even get a little picture next to you here at the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast studio. That's the first thing. I then get to go in the Hit studio and play golf with you. Then to top it off, the absolute cherry on top of the case, you're going to walk me to the shop, hand in hand, maybe, who knows, and buy me a driver of my choice.
Just like that.
What if the QI10?
Why not? Knock your socks off.
Well, okay, fair dues. I'm in.
Socks off. And also, you'll get to have a look around my golf club storage room as well, which is an Aladdin's cave of everything golf. Entering is easy. Just visit the link in the description and become or register as an existing Marriott Bonvoy member to enter the draw. With Marriott Bonvoy, you can earn points not only on hotel stays, but also on golf across participating hotels in the UK. And from now until the 15th of October, you can even earn double points on golf, F&B, and spa, even without a hotel stay. So don't miss out. Then redeem the points for 3 nights, flights, and experiences. So good luck to everybody. To get more information, to enter, click the link in the description, and I can't wait to meet one of you.
You might have noticed how I'm not in this because I refuse to meet anybody unless they pay me. So if somebody comes and says, right, I'm loving this, Rick, but where's Guy? You say, Guy's actually in the office upstairs. Well, I'd like to meet Guy, but you can. Just £100 paid in check or cash or bank transfer. Then they can meet me as well. Deal?
Deal.
Thank you very much.
Let you out your cupboard. So, in other golf news, I mean, again, lots of golf yesterday. It was the Irish Open at Royal County Down. As I mentioned before, one of the most spectacular golf courses in the world. And local hero, Rory McIlroy, obviously from Northern Ireland, I believe he's actually a member at Royal County Down, pretty much was a certain to win this event. I mean, it was his to lose, really. And he kind of got off to a bit of a shaky start, didn't knock the lights out, but nobody did really. End up leading going into the final round. The birdied the first and second. You think, well, this is just going to become the Rory show. Mm-hmm. And then really, really let victory slip out of his grasp. And Rasmus Højgaard, after shooting a final round 65, ended up pipping Rory McIlroy to the title. Rory on the 17th, from about 25 feet, putted off the green, going for birdie. He then he basically 3-putted it to bogey 17. He hit a ridiculous drive down the 18th hole par 5, hit an 8-iron into about 12, 15 feet, had an eagle putt to force a playoff with Rasmus, just missed it on the high side. Rasmus Højgaard is the Irish Open champion. And it feels in a few interviews after the round. First off, congratulations to Rasmus. Him and Nikolai have had a fantastic couple of years, and really now, I mean, not they're both of the levels have got. I mean, we've chatted to him before about coming on the channel, and we're hoping to get him on the channel soon. Apparently, the Hogart father, Mr. Hogart, listens and watches to everything religiously.
Wow.
So he might be listening to this podcast right now today. So congratulations
Hello,
to
sir.
Mr. Hogart for your victory with Rasmus there. So, but in a post-round interview, Rory kind of said, he's let far too many events slip out of his grasp this year. And this feels like another one that's kind of slipped for the world number 3 at his basically his home golf course, apart from being, in his home country with all the support behind him. Let it slip.
You've got to think, haven't you? These things, and I've said it a million times, but these must be starting to almost haunt Rory, that he's getting so close to so many events and not quite getting across the line. And it's the kind of thing that I know you can't really now put Scotty Scheffler and Rory in the same bracket, unfortunately, for Rory. I think Scotty is just clear. Scotty wouldn't do that, would he? Tiger in his heyday wouldn't do that. There's that difference of Rory he is a generational talent. He'll go down as one of the best golfers of a generation without a shadow of a doubt. And what he's done in his career is amazing. But that little bit extra, that little couple of percent to get across the line, Tiger was the absolute king of that. And I think you can't but argue, but Scotty Scheffler's following his footsteps. Rory's not quite got it, has he? He's not quite got that little bit extra at the minute just to get across the line.
And I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it because he played fantastic golf yesterday. It wasn't like he absolutely blew up. He just made mistakes when he couldn't make mistakes. And as you said, you don't see that from Scotty Scheffler. You don't see that from Nelly Cordy. You don't see that from Tiger in his heyday. You don't see that from John Rahm. You don't see that from Brooks Koepka. I feel like don't like saying it, but I feel like we are seeing it a lot with Rory at the moment. And I just can't get my head around it. I mean, it was his to win. It really was. He had everything going for him. He had, he literally just needed to play his normal game of golf yesterday, and he would have blitzed it. And it's not like he had a terrible final round. He still shot 69 at 2 under. But, when you actually look at it, I mean, where would that have ranked him? I mean, he probably, saying that even in the final round yesterday, he'd have probably shot top 20 scores. So it's not like he blew up. It's not like he went out there and shot 78 or buddy 82 or something. But just to not get it over the line was a real shock.
Do you think though, and this is probably going to sound really silly when I say it out loud, but when you think about the tours, there's lots of different players, obviously, have different abilities on those tours and different kind of journeys. And you've got some guys who are, missing cuts week on week, and their real objective is to make a cut and get a bit of money in the bank. And typically the missing cuts, maybe make one, maybe get a top 20Ks and then miss a cut, etc. And that's the kind of up and down journey. You then got some guys who might have a good week, then an all right week, then a good week, then a couple of all right weeks. And kind of, you're not surprised to see them in the top 10, but you're also not surprised if they sometimes miss a cut. And then you've got guys at the top level, like a Scotty Scheffler, who almost feels like every week he's winning or top 5 worst case. Whereas, is Rory, I think the answer is yes, but is Rory that level below now where he's always making cuts, he's always going to come top 10, but because he's not then making that next step up to winning, it kind of looks a lot worse. But like, we've had spells of Tony Finau before, have been so consistent, but because they're not the guy that's winning, because you're always going to have a guy who has the best week of his life, aren't you? I mean, if you look at the final round of Hojgaard, they're 6 under par. There's always at this level going to be those guys who have a final round that's so deep that like gets them right at the leaderboard, or obviously maybe he wins the event. If Rory's not having that final day himself, he's just going to get leapfrogged week on week on week.
Yeah, no, he is, and I think it's the fact of if he would have just parred in the final round, the final back 9. Sorry, you think, well, that he's had a bad last few, but it's the fact he bogeyed 2 of the last 4 holes. He went bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie. Get rid of those bogeys, and he wins it. Like, it's not as if he parred the last 4 and you think, oh, he just didn't quite make a birdie there. He's throwing in bogeys at the bit where he just cannot throw in bogeys. It just really surprised me. After such a hot start, birdie in the first and second. I mean, the first hole that Royal counted out, it's an unbelievable par 5. It really is gorgeous hole by the water. For the 4 rounds of golf that Rory played it, he was 6 under. So he
Wow.
birded it, eagled it, birded it. So it's like, on certain holes, he's nobody can beat that. Like that's an impossible task to beat. Um, but yeah, for him to bogey 2 of the last 4, and just slip out. I mean, it's just I don't know what to say anymore. And I think he's getting frustrated with himself. And then the more frustrated you get, it becomes harder to get the job done even more, doesn't it? Because you want it more. Like when winning comes easy, like it is with Scotty Scheffler, he expects to win. And even like Xander Schauffele now, if Xander Schauffele is in contention, I expect him to win. Similar to
Hmm.
someone like a John Rahm when he's leading, you expect him to win.
Yeah.
I don't know what Rory's best situation is. If he's 5 shots are clear, I'm not convinced he's going to win. If he's 3 shots back, I'm not convinced he's going to win. Like I don't know where his best position is.
No, I totally agree. And I think we've seen it so many times. I think it's certainly the events that mean so much to him. Obviously, an Irish Open means so much. An Open Championship, a Masters, again, goes without saying. It leaves you in that position where, the Masters, although it's several months away, it'll soon be upon us again in April. And if to your point, if Rory's 2 shots ahead when it was the last round, I still wouldn't almost want to back him, which feels horrendous and stupid and naive to say, but who knows?
The other thing is, we'll never know it. Literally, we can sit here talking to a microphone and we'll never ever understand this. What would it actually feel like to play when you know pretty much 99.9% of the crowd there are rooting for you?
Mm,
Like you are their hero. Like that was a home game for Rory, and it doesn't happen very often in golf where the fans are absolutely like you are our king. Like
yeah,
you're the only person we're supporting. That must be difficult
yeah.
because in other sports you can really be fueled by the audience's energy, and that can help you push a little bit harder, can help you run a little bit faster, can help you fight a little bit hard, like everything. In golf, you probably don't want it to make you hit it ridiculously hard, like that 25-foot putt he had that you knocked off the green. I'm not saying that was just down to crowd motivation, but it's like it must be. I bet you hit some monster drives because you can just unleash and use the energy. But on more delicate shots, you have to almost switch off the crowd and go, I don't want the energy off you right now.
It must be tough. Yeah, who knows? But I'd love to see Rory. Obviously, we've said this a million times. I'll say it again: win that career Grand Slam. And I'd love to see this year coming up, but see him really go head to head, obviously with your Xanders and your Scotties, and those three kind of pushing golf forward. Slight change of subject though, Rick. Bringing the tone down maybe for action. But can I see your ring? Yeah, similar, very similar to mine. Quite a standard ring, isn't it? Not what John Rahm's rocking this morning.
I wonder where you were going with that.
Yeah, that's the way I was playing it. John
Um,
Rahm this morning is sporting a very fat ring. Elaborate, Rick.
Yeah, he is. And again, the timing worked out nice. And I watched quite a bit of Live as well. So I got Solheim Cup, I got the Irish Open, I got the Live event in Chicago. John Rahm took victory, and he now has taken the individual title for the year. He has picked up, was it? I think he picked up yesterday $22 million, so $4 million for winning the event, and an extra $18 million for winning the actual overall standings. A bit like
Wow.
almost FedEx for PJ Tour. um, it's his first season on Live. He has pretty much dominated, to be honest. It's been between him and Joachim Neiman pretty much all year long. Throw in with a bit of Tyrrell Hatton, throw in with a bit of Brooks Koepka. A player who has had a phenomenal season, really,
Hmm.
really phenomenal season, Sergio Garcia.
Yeah.
Sergio's played really, really well ever since he filmed with us back in December last year. I'm taking full credit, obviously.
Imagine if
But
John Rahm filmed with you, then what happened?
imagine
Let's
if
go back to that rings.
Rory and John Rahm need to
Mm.
film me because Rory'd win everything. John Rahm, it'd just be the Rory and John Rahm show for the couple of years. But yeah, it was really interesting. The golf was really solid. John Rahm just played really, really steady. He ended up winning by 3 in the end. The golf course looked quite challenging. There were some really high scores this weekend, much higher than kind of normally seen. Caleb Surratt who is on Legion 13 team, kind of let the team down a little bit. This week, he ended up shooting 18 over for the 3 rounds of golf, a 10 over, a 3 over, and a 5 over. And when pretty much all the scores count on the final day, Legion 13 ended up coming second to Crusher's team, which is Bryson's team, by just 1 shot. And really, you've kind of got to maybe look at Caleb Surratt there, who kind of let the team down a little bit. But it's the team's championship next week.
I think it is, yeah. I think you're right.
Get straight on to next week, doesn't it? The 20th, yeah. Next week, a team championship in Dallas. And that's where it's a slightly different format, where it's now going to be crowned who is going to be the Live champion team of the year. It's very much looking like it's again going to be between Crushers and Legion 13. But yeah, really good golf on display. Tyrrell Hatton got a hole in one, which helped him crack a bit of a smile. And just it was good golf. It was really good golf.
I think
it feels like.
Go on, sorry.
No,
this is the problem with these Zooms. Not as easy to just kind of chip in. But what I was going to say was, when it comes this week now to the teams, obviously we've talked about the team format of Live and the pros, the cons for. But one thing I must say, and you've just said to the teams there, Crushers and Legion 13, they do feel like now they are becoming established teams. They feel like, probably because of the success, I'm sure, and the players they've got, whether it be Bryson or obviously John Rahm, they feel like even that short time, they're becoming teams that you can actually imagine sticking around. I don't know there's something about them. Again, it's probably the fact they've got the marquee players who are playing so well. But I feel like they've done something right with those 2 teams.
I think there's actually 6 teams you could stretch that out to.
Go on, seven.
I would say Crushers and Legion 13.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that them 2 have really established their position.
I'll give you Majestics. Sorry, yeah.
No, I wasn't actually going to mention Majestics.
Wow, no, fair dues.
I think I don't know. As a team, I think Ian Poulter's really, really pushing it. From the others, I'm not maybe sensing that just yet.
Well, then let's hear yours.
So I would actually say the top 6 teams that are doing really well. So, and maybe it's no surprise, I would say Crushers doing well. I would say Legion 13. I think Rippers GC, I think they've got a real clear identity, obviously, with the Australian market. I would say Torquay GC, which is Wacky Neiman's team. I'd say Fireballs. And I'd just about throw in Smash. I think Smash had a much stronger brand alignment and awareness last year, kind of being Brooks's team. Maybe it's the 3 captains of Majestics, which makes it a bit more complicated. Because obviously, they've got Poulter, they've got Stenson, they've got Westwood as captains. But I really think that Crushers, it'd be interesting though what the other 3 players think though, because when you think Crushers, you do think Bryson.
Of course you do.
And maybe when you think Legion 13, you do think Rahm. And when you think Fireballs, you do think Garcia. Are the other 2 or 3 players, are they okay with that? Is that going to dent some egos? I don't know, but I certainly think those handful of teams seem to be doing it the best, and then as a result, seem to be playing the best, if I'm honest with you as well. But yeah, team championship next week, which I believe there's another 4 rings on offer as well for the 14 players. So John Rahm, you never know, might be walking around with 2 big chunky
double rings. Fair dues. Can I tell you a little story?
Go for it.
So I played golf yesterday, Rick. You'd be surprised to know. And I got invited again. Do you remember I recently went to the Manners Golf Day, which is full of all the cool kids with Manners golf apparel?
You did.
Far too cool for me. Well, I got invited again by a friend of mine, Simon, who Simon Parkhill, who has a business called Spanish Hands, and they do lots of things. But one of the things they do is Blue Tees, who are a laser rangefinder company and speakers. He invited me to go, and they were sponsoring this Manners Golf Day. So I went down. I went with my brother for a game of golf. And Rick, it was
so
a golf.
Your brother instead of me.
Well, you were ill. You were like, I'm ill. I need some tablets. And I took my brother down. And it was at a golf course a long way from my house, Rick, but a golf course that I know very well. It was at Rocket Hall.
Was it?
So, yes, it was. So we played Rocket Hall not that long ago. It was myself, you and me, playing a scramble against Tom Lewis, European Tour winner.
Is that the course you played?
The exact course we played, yeah. And it was, the day itself was a great day. It was scramble. 4-man scramble. We had a really nice day. We had music on, speakers. It was something that I'm definitely buying into a lot more. This kind of casual golf. It's so much more what I feel like I'm aligned to now. I don't like the pressure on the scorecard too much. I like just playing scramble. But on the journey down, which is quite a long journey, as you know, good 3.5 hours yesterday morning, I was thinking to myself, oh, there's other people going. There's obviously some like kind of creators. There's some cool guys in all baggy clothes, and I'm there, just kind of little old me. But the one at lace I've got up my sleeve, if anyone says, "Oh, Guy, have you played here before?" I can casually say, "Oh yeah, well, me and Rick played against European Tour winner Tom Lewis, and it's had about 1.3 million views. Nothing crazy. That's up my sleeve because we've played there, we did a video there, and it's done quite nicely on views. So I've got this ready. Anyway, I get there, park my car, and me and my brother walk to the clubhouse, and we meet Simon, an ex-boss of mine from Nike, very senior guy. We sit down. And I said, actually, yes, I'm just going to ditch the bathroom, Simon. And just going to, been a long drive down. You know me, Rick, need lots of wheeze. As I'm walking off, Simon says, I'll have a quick look in the toilet. Okay, so there's a picture on the wall. Okay. So bearing in mind, I've not used yet my little trump card up my sleeve. I've got 1.3 million views at Rocket Hall. As I walk into the toilet, I do my business. As I'm leaving, I notice a picture on the wall. A collage of pictures of Tiger Woods when he visited Rocket Hall in 2006. And on the main
Right.
picture in the middle is Tiger Woods and Simon, the guy that I'm with, having a chat. Like, wow, okay, no wonder Simon wanted to see that. As I walk back out, I'm still thinking, yeah, I've got this trump card up my sleeve, I've got this 1.3 million views. I said to Simon, all right. I said, so you met Tiger Woods here when you worked for Nike? He went, yeah, yeah. I said, all right, was it good? And yeah, I played with him. I'm like, pardon? Yeah, I played golf with Tiger Woods here. It was a Nike Golf Day. He was Nike Golf general manager for the UK or whatever. And they had a day and a media event, and he then went on the golf course and played with Tiger Woods. And I melted. I can't believe that I'm playing golf with someone who's played the same golf course with Tiger Woods. And there was me thinking I had a little flex in this 1.3 million viewed video. And then he
Wow.
mentioned it about in the 4 hours of golf. I think he must have mentioned it 25 times that he'd played golf
Yeah, good. Sorry,
with
sorry,
Tiger
should.
Woods. So yeah, there's me. So no matter what you think you've got up your sleeve, what little flex that you might pull on somebody, always prepared that you might get out flexed, Rick. And it was very humbling. But you know what? It was a great day, and it was as you know, these events, there's lots of like cool kids, lots of different people you might not necessarily see on the street and think of as a golfer. Sounds bad to be kind of so stereotypical, but you normally think of a golfer as being a certain way, in a certain outfit. But I think seeing people have fun on the golf course and playing it a bit different way and not so serious, it's definitely the way that I think for me going forward, I like it.
Definitely. Did you pick up any prizes?
Well, no. However, there was a beat the pro nearest the pin. It was free, and I beat the pro, so got a little fifty
Nice.
pound gift card. So it was worth the trip.
There you go. Yeah, that is a proper flex. That he's a. I wonder why he organised the golf day for there, eh?
Exactly.
That's awesome. I really like Rocket Hall. It was one of those places that I actually want to play the other course where you've got to get the little ferry
Yes.
across the water because that looks like a cool a cool golf course.
Yeah.
Um,
Course is in
which
great
I definitely
condition,
want
but
to play.
it's a strange time of year though, because obviously it's middle of September and I went down yesterday not having any idea what the course condition would be like, what the weather would be like. And I looked online before we went, the weather app, and it was meant to be quite sunny and about 20 degrees. So I went down in shorts, but I took pants just in case. And the weather was absolutely perfect. And the course was in fantastic condition. So credit to all the greenkeepers and the staff, etc. The course was phenomenal. But it's such a weird time of year because give it another week or 2 weeks, it's like starts to become very wintry, doesn't it? And it starts to become a bit like,
It's it's really started to feel very autumnal. Like, luckily for you, obviously you went down south and it was nice weather yesterday, but back home up north, the weather was absolutely horrendous. Like, it never
yeah.
stopped raining yesterday, so you got a bit lucky there. So, which is good to see. Right, pal. I think we'll do a live Friday episode. I'm on a flight tomorrow to New York for something cool I'm doing with YouTube. But let's make time to do a little 20-minute remote episode for Friday, little clubhouse
Sounds good.
episode.
Sounds
And I
good.
can
Last thing.
fill you in with
Go on.
everything I've got going on.
Well, I'm excited to hear how New York goes. But last thing, we are going to start reading out a lot more emails again going forward. So once Rick gets back, we're back in the normal podcast studio. We're going to be reading out many more of your emails. If you've got a Dear Rick, you want to ask Rick a question and stay anonymous, please do email us, podcast@rickshiels.com. If you want to give us any of your confessions, so anything you've done on the golf course where you think, actually, that was a bit bad, that I want to own up, I want to confess. Maybe you gave the ball a little bit of a fluffy bit of lie during a competition and now you feel dreadful. Let us know and we will tell you whether you can wash away your sins or you are a terrible, terrible person.
Could we have them printed on actual like cards that they have like on TV?
This is 100% what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be printing them off. We're going to be reading them. So feel free to email us, podcast@rickshiels.com. We'll read out as many as we can. Even the ones that we don't read out, we do read. And we really thank everyone for sending them in. So please feel free to send us an email. One last time, podcast@rickshiels.com.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week. We'll be back on Friday for a little Clubhouse episode. And hopefully I'm feeling well, better. I've actually felt I kind of saved all my energy for this podcast, and now I've just realised I'm really flatlining now. So I need some energy. Thanks, pal. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, mate.
See you all next week.